It's a Minisode! Bow, 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 bow. That was me attempting air horns, and it's Chanelle. It's only Chanelle. Kristen won't be joining us today. We posted on our social media that we were having some difficulties with our previous episode that we recorded on Saturday. The recording volume wasn't great and it was really difficult to work with. So we decided to re-record that episode to release this week, but then Kristen had some personal things that she had to take care of. I mean, she can always talk about it on the next episode if she wanted to. So we decided to rather air a mini episode, my first minisode, and I am nervous. I don't know why, because I'm literally sitting on the floor in my living room. My cats are beside me, the heater is on me. I don't need to be nervous, but I am, so please bear with me. I am sensitive. I don't think I don't think I have any admin that I need to talk about, and if I do, I'm sorry, Kristen. I can't think of anything except for the one thing that I want to thank everyone for is voting for us. Everyone who has voted for us so far in the AVPA awards, we really, really appreciate it, and keep on voting. It really means a lot to us. I mean, like I've said before, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, I'm just happy to be included, to be honest. I don't think there's much. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not going to be negative about it. Maybe we will win. Maybe we will win. Maybe we won't. All I'm saying is I'm so happy to be included. And yeah, thank you so much for everyone who listens. It always blows our mind to see that people listen to us. It's a very weird situation to be in. I never thought I would have people listening to me, especially from across the pond, across the many oceans that there are. And yeah, so I think I can't really banter with myself, so I guess I will get into the story straight away, or the case straight away. So let me start off with my disclaimer. The following stories contain graphic content and might not be suitable for everyone. The sources I use to find the information will be listed below, and everything I say is my own opinion unless it is stated as fact. I mean, no disrespect towards anyone I speak about, and let's get into it. So, usually I like to title the cases after the victims. I was thinking about this today. Sorry, tangent. Oh, here I said I can't banter with myself. Here I am. I was thinking today, I hate the fact that, when we talk about someone who, a murderer, someone is a murderer, I hate the fact that we talk about his victims or her victims. Yes, I understand, that they have lost their lives due to this person, but I don't know. I just find it, and I know how else would you refer to them? I don't know. It just sat wrong with me today. I was like, I just feel like I wouldn't want to be called it almost sounds possessive, you know what I mean? Like someone's victim. I don't know if this makes any sense to anyone, but in my brain, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me that you're called his victim, or her victim, whatever the pronoun may be, their victim, it doesn't matter. But I don't know, I just didn't like it, but that's besides the point. So like I said, I usually try and title the case after the victims, but in this case the victims weren't named, and it's also about a serial killer, so it is titled after the serial killer that we're going to speak about, who is called Elefasi Msomi. In episode 1, Kristen covered the legend of the Tokoloshe, but here's just a quick refresher. In Zulu or Xhosa mythology, Tokoloshe, or Hili, is a dwarf-like water sprite and is considered to be a mischievous and evil spirit that can become invisible by drinking water or swallowing a stone. Tokoloshes are called upon by malevolent people to cause trouble for others. So this might seem like a random piece of information when covering a serial killer, but this killer was nicknamed the Tokoloshe killer, also the axe killer or axe murderer or something like that. Elefasi Msomi was a young Zulu man who was a pretty unsuccessful sangoma by all accounts. So a sangoma, for anyone who doesn't know, is a practitioner of traditional medicine. The sangoma is a central figure in South Africa, and about 84% of the South African population consult a sangoma more than 3 times a year. It was estimated that there are 200,000 practicing sangomas in South Africa. There's a primary distinction between the ancestrally designated diviner or mediator, isingoma, and the herbalist or doctor, inyanga, who primarily works with herbs and other forms of medication and who has not been called by the ancestors. So the ancestrally designated diviner or mediator or isingoma have been called on by their ancestors to go into this role to become a sangoma, where the herbalists or the doctors, the inyanga, they weren't necessarily as quote-unquote called to become a sangoma by their ancestors, but they have chosen this path for themselves. Okay, so sangomas or diviners are also herbalists, while many herbalists practice divination and communicate with their ancestors. The main function of the sangoma is to heal and protect people in the community. The healing that a sangoma performs is holistic and symbolic in nature, and thus is powerfully determined by cultural factors. The 3 major causes of illness and misfortune that a sangoma seeks to heal are ancestral illnesses, illnesses caused by witchcraft, and those due to pollution, which is ritual impurity, such as menstruation and miscarriages. So to start off with Elefasi Msomi, he, like I said, was unsuccessful as a sangoma, and apparently he had been called to become a sangoma, but he was not really getting anywhere with this pursuit. He decided to find or to consult I would say a more established sangoma who has had lots of experience and, is a little bit more established and more successful. Basically, he was looking for a mentor, I would say. So during this exchange with the other sangoma, he claimed that he was possessed by Tokoloshe. There was one case, Bella Monsoon is where I found this case originally. Really love her channel. Please check her out. I have spoken about her before. She mentioned that the sangoma that he went to go and get guidance from introduced him to the Tokoloshe. So whether he was introduced to the Tokoloshe or, the Tokoloshe kind of came to him, I don't know, while he was with the sangoma, I'm not 100% sure, but the main thing is that he claimed that he was possessed by a Tokoloshe during this time, during working with this sangoma. That is when, according to Msomi, that he started his killing spree with the Tokoloshe on his shoulder. So basically, this Tokoloshe was figuratively on his shoulder, whispering into his ear, telling him to commit these crimes and not even just crimes, murders. And that's when his 18-month rampage began. And it began in August 1953 in KwaZulu-Natal. At first, he would rape and murder his female victims at the behest of the Tokoloshe. He would commit these crimes in the presence of his mistress, whose blood he kept in a bottle or vial on his person. Oh yes, this is also what I wanted to say. What Bella Monsoon said, that this Tokoloshe, either the Tokoloshe or the Sangoma, told Msomi that he had to collect the blood of 15 victims, or 15 victims. So I can't remember, because I didn't write it down here, because I watched her video right before recording this so that it was fresh in my mind, although evidently that didn't work out so well. So yeah, he was either ordered, not really ordered by the Sangoma, but I think it was the Tokoloshe that told him that he had to collect the blood of 15 victims. So in any case, he kept his mistress's blood for some reason as well in a vial or in a bottle with him. So he committed all these crimes in front of her, but she wasn't impressed with his new powers, and she handed him over to the police. So she wasn't impressed with his powers. She wasn't completely grossed out by what he was doing and the fact that he was an evil person committing these crimes. She was just unimpressed. It doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, sure. So in a twist, and apparently with the help of the Tokoloshe, Msomi actually ended up escaping prison. And as you can imagine, he went straight back to his murderous ways. Bella Monsoon said that he killed his aunt and uncle right after escaping, and then went on to kill 5 children while he was a fugitive. Although I only found information regarding the fact that he killed 5 children during that time, but it doesn't really matter. He still killed a whole bunch of people, you know what I mean? So police eventually caught him again, but guess what? Man escaped again. Not kidding. I don't know what the hell the police were doing. I'm at a loss for words. Honestly, come on, do better. Why is this person escaping? Twice. Anyway, a month later, he was arrested again, but this time for petty theft. And upon investigation, police realized that the stolen goods were his victims' belonging. He was then arrested, like I said again, and he assisted police by pointing them to his victims' remains. He ended up having 15 victims in total, and all of his victims came from the Umkomaas and Umzimkulu valleys. We don't really know why he went and showed them all where to find the remains, because who knows what's going on in the minds of most of these people. So we'll never truly know why he went and showed police where his victims were and some of their remains were. It might be because he just wanted to revisit the sites, or it might just be because, now he's not under the influence of the Tokoloshe anymore, and he wants to show police that it wasn't him that did these horrible things. It was the Tokoloshe that had possessed him. We don't know. So during his trial, Msomi claimed that he wasn't in control of himself or his actions at all, and that he was just doing the Tokoloshe's bidding. 2 psychologists disagreed, though. They stated that Msomi was in fact of higher than average intelligence, and further that he derived sexual pleasure from inflicting pain, which is so common in so many murderers and, rapists and people like that, who just find a sick sense of pleasure in seeing others in pain and discomfort. Seek help. Go away. Msomi was sentenced to death by hanging at Pretoria Central Prison, and on the 10th of February 1956, he was hanged. But his constant reference to the Tokoloshe and the fact that he had escaped multiple times caused some fear amongst those of the Zulu community. And upon request, the judge permitted a deputation of 9 Zulu chiefs and elders to attend the hanging in order to confirm that the Tokoloshe did in fact not save Msomi from his death. Even so, one chief felt that Msomi might return after his death as a Tokoloshe himself. And that is the case of Elefasi Msomi. It's a really wild case. I mean, 15 victims is atrocious. I can't even begin to unpack how many victims that is, and the fact that he had different victims, as in like the classification of victims. He had women that he obviously raped and murdered, and then he started killing kids when he escaped from prison. But I think the thing that those two groups, I would say, have in common is the fact that they are vulnerable. They are society's more vulnerable, and the elderly, obviously, but women and children are usually more vulnerable than, say, for instance, men are, so that also just shows you, I don't know, the fact that he's a murderer already shows you the type of person he is, or was. I mean, I don't think we'll ever truly know what led Msomi to kill. Especially, like I said, 15 victims is mind-blowing. I believe that the fact that he was of higher intelligence kind of not makes me believe, but it does push me more towards the side that he was using this as an excuse. But it's a part of his culture, right? So he was ingrained from such a young age that this thing really exists, and that this is an evil spirit that kills people and possesses people and forces them to do horrible things. And I don't know if maybe he had some sort of mental disorder that we didn't know about back then. Obviously, it was the 1950s. Mental health wasn't really a thing that people spoke about or cared about, really. So whether or not he had a mental disorder that, led to psychosis or whatever the case may be, we will never know what exactly led him to do this. He might have said that it was the Tokoloshe, but obviously we all know it wasn't. I don't know, I'm always left speechless by the actions of some people and then how they kind of just shift blame onto something else. And I honestly think that is what happened here. I think he might have been upset, unhappy, whatever you want to call it, about the fact that he wasn't he wasn't successful in his pursuit of becoming of being a Sangoma, and that maybe angered him, and maybe he truly believed that if he collected, the blood of 15 victims, that he would become a better Sangoma because the Tokoloshe said that. Or I honestly don't know. It's just such a wild case, like most of our cases are. And that is the end of it. That's the end of my first Minisode. What a bummer. I should end this on a better note. What can I talk about? It's a supermoon tonight. It's actually the buck moon. It's a supermoon. It's going to be really visible in our side of the world, our hemisphere. It is one of the biggest and brightest moon phases of 2022. And the moon is also in Capricorn. So yeah, maybe look out your windows tonight while you are listening to this episode. Do some, I don't know, grounding work. The moon's going to move into Capricorn. It's going to be a great time to, make sure that all your ducks are in a row. It's a great time to clear out clutter and to embrace new things into your home and look at the foundations that you've been building in your life. Ask yourself, is what you're building supporting you, and how supporting you in the present, and will it support you in the future? To make sure that you are following your truth, you're following what you want to do. If you feel that you have been procrastinating a bit, this full moon might help you speed things up and get cracking on that project that you have been neglecting a little bit. This is your chance to fix, refine, and potentially even redefine your life. If you don't believe in this, don't believe in it. If you believe in it, great. I just think it's always a good idea to look inward and to make sure that what you're doing is going to serve your future, is serving your present self and will serve your future self. And you don't necessarily need the moon to do that, although you all know I like astrology. Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked the moon. Also, oh my gosh, I have completely forgotten about this. If you have not seen this, run. Do not walk to your nearest internet connection device, be it a tablet or a fucking laptop or your phone, and go and Google the latest pictures that were released by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. Oh my gosh. The pictures that came out of or came from that telescope, chills. I got chills when I saw them yesterday. I think they came out yesterday, pretty sure. And yeah, let me tell you, it is absolutely stunning. There's a few different pictures that they took or released. The one image is, I think it's called Cosmic Cliffs, and it's the edge of a young like star forming region in somewhere, I don't know, some sort of nebula. I can't remember the nebula's name. And the telescope's infrared lens, I don't know, revealed, like previously, they couldn't see through the dust previously with the previous pictures that they took. So, because we didn't have the technology. Now this, I said laptop, oh my word. This telescope has the technology that made it possible for them to see previously invisible areas, because those areas were covered with dust. Not covered with dust. Dust was in its way. Space dust. I don't know what space dust is, but yes, space dust was in its way. And then there's a picture of, I think it's called Stephen's Quintet or something like that. And it's like literally 5 galaxies that you can see together in one image. I don't know. I love space. I've always loved space. I think we've spoken about this on the podcast as well. I'm obsessed with space, and I really, 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 really encourage you to go look up those pictures. It is stunning, and it always just blows my mind that we are literally just on a floating rock in the middle of space. And what is space even really? We don't know. It just keeps on expanding. Anyway, space is amazing. I don't know what to tell you. Just go and look at the pictures. I am 100% using those pictures as wallpaper for my laptop and my phone and every other device I can get my grubby little hands on. So, yeah, I hope you go and look at those pictures now and that you feel a little bit better after this episode. And yes, I must do the admin. Oh, I've never done this on my own. Please find us on social media, at Law and Omen. Then we have an email address that's info@lawandomen.com. What else do we have? Fuck, I know we have something else. We have a website, lawandomen.com. And that's it. We post every Sunday, unless we don't. And then I hope you have a great week further. This episode should come out later today. So go and look at the moon tonight. Go and look at the pictures of space. The fact that we're just floating around in this is crazy. There must be aliens out there. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, have a great week. I love you. Goodbye.